Jake Sullivan stood at the large window of Luna Base Alpha, looking out at the dark space filled with distant stars. He had been the commander of Earth's main watching station for 12 years now. Every day he looked at those same stars and wondered what was hiding behind them. It was the year 2204. Earth had been completely silent for 47 years. No radio signals went out. No messages were sent to space. Nothing that would tell anyone that humans existed. The reason was simple and terrifying. In 2157, Dr. Lisa Harper had been working at the radio telescope in Chile when she picked up the first alien message. She was young then, fresh out of college and excited about finding life in space. But what she found changed everything for humanity. The message was not friendly. It was not a greeting from peaceful neighbors. It was a communication between two alien fleets discussing how they had just finished destroying a planet full of young creatures who had dared to send radio signals into space. The aliens called these creatures noisemakers and laughed about how easy it was to find and kill them. Lisa spent months learning the alien language. What she discovered made her sick. The galaxy was ruled by three big groups of aliens. The Zephyrians were fighters who loved war and killed anyone who got in their way. The Nexari were smart and cruel, turning other species into slaves to work. In their factories, the Korvathi were the oldest and most evil, treating younger species like cattle to be eaten or used for experiments. Any species that was smart enough to send radio signals was either destroyed right away or captured and enslaved. The galaxy had rules. The first rule was that new species had no rights at all. Lisa took her findings to the world leaders. Within 6 months, every radio station on Earth went quiet. Every satellite stopped broadcasting. Every signal that might tell the aliens about Earth was shut down. The world governments told everyone it was for their own safety. Most people did not understand why. Now, almost 50 years later, Jake stood on the moon base that had been built in secret. Earth had not wasted those years of silence. They had been busy. Captain Ryan Burke walked into the control room behind Jake. Ryan was in charge of Earth's hidden space fleet. The ships were built inside old asteroids, far from Earth where alien eyes might see them. They were painted black and designed to be invisible to alien sensors. "Any news from the listening posts?" Ryan asked. Jake turned from the window. "Lisa, picked up something interesting an hour ago. There's a small alien fleet moving toward our solar system." Ryan's face became serious. "How small?" 3 ships. Zephyrian design. Looks like a scouting group." "Damn." Ryan sat down in a chair. "After all these years, they finally found us." Jake shook his head. "Lisa doesn't think they know we're here. Their communications suggest they think this is an empty system. They're looking for a place to set up a temporary base in the communication center. Below them, Dr. Lisa Harper sat surrounded by screens showing alien messages from across the galaxy. She was 58 now, with gray hair and tired eyes. She had spent most of her life listening to alien conversations, learning about their wars and their cruelty. The Zephyrian messages she was reading made her stomach turn. The 3 ships heading toward Earth were not just scouts. They were the advance team for something much bigger. A massive Zephyrian war fleet was planning to use Earth's solar system as a staging area for an attack on a group of rebel species called the Terran Syndicate. Lisa had been following the Terran Syndicate for years. They were different from most alien species. Instead of accepting slavery or death, they had chosen to fight back against the big alien empires. They had been winning some battles lately, which made the Zephyrians very angry. The Zephyrians were planning to use Earth's sun as a testing ground for a new superweapon. If the test worked, they would use the weapon to destroy every planet in the Terran Syndicate. If the test failed, it would destroy Earth's sun and kill everyone in the solar system. Lisa stood up and walked to the elevator. That would take her to Jake's command center. The 3 ships would arrive in 18 days. Earth had to make a choice that they had been avoiding for 47 years. When Lisa entered the command room, she found Jake and Ryan looking at pictures of the approaching ships. The alien vessels were huge, each one the size of a small city, They had thick armor and weapons that could destroy entire moons. "We need to call Admiral Morrison," Lisa said quietly. Admiral Kate Morrison was Earth's top military leader. She was tough and smart, and she had spent 20 years preparing for this day. When the video call connected, her serious face appeared on the main screen. "Lisa says we have visitors coming," Kate said without any greeting. "3 Zephyrian ships," Jake replied. "They'll be here in 18 days. Are they looking for us specifically?" Lisa stepped forward. "No, Admiral. They think this system is empty. But they're planning to use it as a base for a major military operation. If we let them set up here, they'll discover Earth within weeks." Kate was quiet for a long moment. "And if we stop them, then the whole galaxy will know we exist." Ryan said, "Every alien empire will come for us. They're going to find us anyway," Lisa added. "Kate, they're planning to test a sun-killer weapon here. If we do nothing, everyone on Earth dies." The room became silent. For 47 years, staying hidden had kept humanity safe. But safety was an illusion, and that illusion was about to end. Kate Morrison looked at each of them through the screen. "How long do we have to prepare?" 18 days, Jake answered. "Then we use every hour," Kate said. Jake put all watching stations on high alert. "Ryan, get the fleet ready for combat." "Lisa, I need everything you know about Zephyrian tactics and weaknesses." "What about the silence protocol?" Ryan asked. Kate's face became hard as steel. 47 years ago, we chose to stay silent to survive. Now we have to choose between staying silent and staying alive. Get our ships ready, Captain. It's time for Earth to make some noise." The call ended, leaving the 3 humans alone with the weight of their decision. Outside the window, the stars looked the same as always, but everything had changed. In 18 days, humanity would either win their first battle among the stars, or they would lose everything they had built in: the silence. The Zephyrian ships arrived exactly when Lisa Harper predicted they would. 3 massive vessels, each one gleaming silver and bristling with weapons, moved into Earth's outer solar system like sharks entering new hunting waters. They positioned themselves near Pluto and began setting up what looked like a military base. Colonel Ben Watson floated in his stealth ship, the Shadowhawk, watching the aliens work. His ship was completely invisible to their sensors, painted black and equipped with technology that bent light around it. Ben had been watching alien ships for 15 years, but he had never seen any this close to Earth.
"Out of control."
"This is Shadowhawk," Ben whispered into his radio. "The big guys are definitely setting up shop. We've got construction ships building some kind of station." Back on Luna Base Alpha, Jake Sullivan studied the images Ben was sending back. The alien construction was happening fast. Days they had built a base the size of a small city. More ships kept arriving, and all of them were military vessels. "How many ships now?" Admiral Kate Morrison asked during their daily briefing. 17, Ryan Burke answered. "All of them Zephyrian warships. The smallest one could destroy our biggest city with a single shot." Dr. Lisa Harper looked up from her translation work. "It's worse than that." "I've been listening to their communications. This isn't just a temporary base. They're building a permanent military headquarters here." "For what?" Kate asked. Lisa pulled up a map of nearby star systems on the main screen. "They're planning the biggest military operation in Zephyrian history. War Prime Dector himself is coming here with a fleet of over 300 ships. They want to completely destroy the Terran Syndicate." Kate studied the map. The Terran Syndicate controlled 12 star systems about 50 light-years away. They were the only alien group that had successfully fought back against the big empires. If the Zephyrians destroyed them, no one would ever challenge the galactic powers again. "What's the timeline?" Kate asked. 6 weeks, Lisa said. "Dekta. Main fleet will arrive in 6 weeks. Then they'll spend 2 weeks testing their new superweapon on our sun before launching their attack." The room went quiet. Everyone understood what that meant. In 8 weeks, Earth's sun would be used as target practice for an alien doomsday weapon. Ryan stood up and walked to the window. "We can't fight 300 Zephyrian ships. Our entire fleet has only 42 vessels. Then we don't fight them head on," Kate said. "Ben, How close can you get to their base without being detected? Ben's voice came through the radio from his hiding spot near Pluto. Pretty close, Admiral. Our sensors are designed to look for big ships and energy weapons. They're not looking for something like us. Kate turned to a man sitting quietly in the corner. Paul Carter was Earth's best weapons engineer. He had spent 20 years studying alien technology and figuring out how to build better versions of their weapons. Paul, what can we do with 42 ships against 17? Paul smiled for the first time in days. Admiral, they're not expecting a fight. Their shields are down, their weapons are powered off, and they're spread out over a huge area. We hit them fast and hard. We might be able to take out half their ships before they know what's happening. And then we run like hell and hope the other half doesn't catch us. Lieutenant Commander Amy Foster had been studying intelligence reports about alien military tactics. She was young but smart, and she understood alien thinking better than most humans. Admiral, there's something else, Amy said. I've been analyzing alien battle reports for the past 10 years. Every species they've fought has used the same basic strategy. They build big ships, line them up, and shoot at each other until someone wins. So we don't have to do that. We can fight like humans instead of like aliens. Kate raised an eyebrow. Explain. Amy pulled up historical battles on her screen. Look at how humans fought wars before we went into space. We used surprise attacks, hit-and-run tactics, and psychological warfare. We made our enemies scared and confused. Aliens. Don't do that. You think honor means standing up and fighting face-to-face. You want us to fight dirty, Kate said. I want us to fight smart, Amy replied. Ben's ships can get close without being seen. Paul's weapons can punch through their armor, can hurt them and disappear before they can hit back. Over the next week, Earth's hidden fleet moved into position. Ryan Burke commanded the main attack force from his flagship, the Night Storm. His ships were spread throughout the outer solar system, each one hidden behind asteroids or moons. Paul Carter had worked day and night to upgrade their weapons. Human ships now carried missiles that could change direction at the last second, energy weapons that fired in patterns aliens had never seen, and electronic warfare systems designed to confuse alien computers. Ben Watson's reconnaissance had revealed the perfect target. The largest Cypherian ship, a massive command vessel called the Bone Crusher, was parked near their main base. If they could destroy it, the other ships would be leaderless and confused. Dr. Lisa Harper intercepted a message that made everyone's blood run cold. 3 more alien fleets were coming to Earth's solar system. The Nexari wanted to claim any intelligent species they found as slaves. The Korvathi had detected signs of a species with interesting genetic material, and more Zephyrian ships were coming to reinforce the advanced team. How long do we have? Kate asked during the final planning meeting. The first reinforcements arrive in 12 days, Lisa said. After that, we'll be facing over 60 ships. Kate looked around the room at her commanders. Then we hit them tomorrow. Night, everyone goes home, or no one does. That evening, Jake Sullivan stood at his window again, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Colonel Ben Watson was moving closer to the alien base. Captain Ryan Burke was preparing his ships. For humanity's first space battle, Dr. Lisa Harper was listening to alien communications, trying to learn any last-minute information that might help. In a few hours, Earth would break its 47 years of silence in the most dramatic way possible. They would not announce themselves with radio signals or diplomatic messages. Would announce themselves with weapons, fire, and explosions. Jake thought about all the humans living on Earth below, sleeping peacefully, and unaware that their entire future would be decided in the next 24 hours. Most of them still did not know that aliens existed. They definitely did not know that alien warships were parked in their solar system. Control, this is Shadowhawk. Ben's voice came through the radio. I'm in position. The target is clear, and their shields are still down. Roger, Shadowhawk, Jake replied. All units, prepare for Operation Thunderstrike. We go in 30 minutes. Jake took one last look at the peaceful stars. In 30 minutes, those stars would be filled with fire and fury. Humanity was about to discover whether 47 years of preparation would be enough to save them from the galaxy's most powerful military force. The attack began at exactly midnight, Earth time. Colonel Ben Watson's stealth ship, Shadowhawk, appeared from nowhere, firing a full spread of missiles at the massive Zephyrian command ship, Bone Crusher. The alien vessel's shields were down for maintenance. Paul Carter's new weapons tore through the ship's armor like paper. The Bone Crusher exploded in a ball of fire that lit up the dark space around Pluto. Pieces of the alien ship flew in all directions, some of them hitting nearby Zephyrian vessels and causing more explosions. "Target destroyed," Ben reported calmly, as if he had just completed a training exercise instead of destroying humanity's first alien warship, Captain. Ryan Burke's attack fleet materialized from behind asteroids and moons all around the Zephyrian base. The Night Storm and 15 other human ships opened fire at the same time, their weapons lighting up space with deadly energy beams and explosive missiles. The aliens were caught completely off guard. They had been in the solar system for over a week and had detected no signs of intelligent life. Their sensors showed them empty space, dead planets, and floating rocks. They had no idea that 42 human warships had been hiding in that empty space, watching and waiting. "Unknown vessels attacking our position," came a panicked Zephyrian transmission that Dr. Lisa Harper intercepted from Luna Base Alpha. "Request immediate assistance. We are under attack by invisible ships." 3 more Zephyrian vessels exploded in the first 30 seconds of the battle. Human ships darted between the larger alien vessels like angry wasps, firing weapons and then disappearing again before the aliens could target them. But the Zephyrians were experienced warriors. After the initial shock, they began to fight back. Their remaining ships raised shields and powered up weapons that could melt entire mountains. Energy beams as thick as buildings lanced out through space, searching for the human attackers. "Ships, execute scatter pattern Delta," Ryan commanded over the radio. The human fleet split apart, each ship heading in a different direction. This confused the aliens even more, because they were used to fighting enemies who stayed in formation. The human ship Meteor, commanded by Captain Tony Hughes, took a direct hit from a Zephyrian energy cannon. The ship's shields held, but barely. Tony spun his ship around an asteroid and came back at the alien vessel from a completely different angle, firing missiles that struck the Zephyrian ship's weakest point. Lieutenant Sarah Kim piloted her fighter, the Wasp, directly between 2 large Zephyrian ships. The aliens tried to shoot her, but their own vessels were in the way. Sarah fired a spread of smart missiles that curved around the alien ships and hit their engines from behind. On Luna Base Alpha, Jake Sullivan watched the battle through Ben Watson's cameras. Human ships were dancing around the much larger alien vessels, hitting them from unexpected angles and disappearing before the aliens could respond effectively. "How are we doing?" Admiral Kate Morrison asked from Earth. "It's better than expected," Jake replied. "We've destroyed 6 of their ships and damaged for more. But they're starting to adapt to our tactics." Indeed, the Zephyrians were learning fast. Their ships began moving closer together, protecting each other and making it harder for human vessels to attack without being caught in crossfire. The alien Commander War Captain Vextu was no fool. "Attention, unknown vessels," came a transmission from the remaining Zephyrian ships. Dr. Lisa Harper translated it instantly. "You have attacked ships of the Zephyrian Empire. Surrender now, and your deaths will be quick. Continue fighting, and we will hunt down your homeworld and kill every living thing on it." Kate Morrison's voice came through the radio from Earth. "All human ships, this is Admiral Morrison. You heard their offer. Here's our counteroffer.
Get out of our solar system or we'll destroy every one of your ships."
The first broadcast from Earth in 47 years went out on all alien communication frequencies. But it was not a plea for mercy or a request for peace. It was a declaration of war. "This is Admiral Kate Morrison of the Earth Defense Force." The message began. "For 47 years, we have watched your empires destroy innocent species across the galaxy. We have seen you enslave children and slaughter entire worlds for the crime of being different from you. Today, that ends." The message continued on every alien frequency Lisa Harper could access. "We know about your secret wars, your hidden weaknesses, and your illegal experiments. We know that the Nexar Empire built their wealth by stealing technology from species they claimed to protect. We know that the Korvathi have been conducting genetic experiments that violate their own laws. We know that the Zephyrian military has been planning to rebel against their own government. Across the galaxy, alien leaders stopped what they were doing to listen to the impossible transmission. A previously unknown species was not only fighting back, but broadcasting military secrets that could destabilize every major empire. The effect was immediate. On 17 different worlds, enslaved species began to revolt. 3 Nexari governors were assassinated by their own guards. A Korvathi research station was destroyed by its test subjects, and in the Zephyrian military, younger officers began to question orders from their corrupt leaders. But in Earth's solar system, the immediate battle was far from over. The remaining 11 Zephyrian ships formed a defensive circle and began systematic sweeps of the area, trying to find and destroy the human fleet. Captain Ryan Burke realized that the aliens were adapting too quickly. All ships prepare for final assault. We end this now. The human fleet regrouped behind Jupiter's largest moon. Ryan's plan was desperate, but simple. Instead of hit-and-run attacks, they would charge straight at the alien formation and try to break through their defenses. "Admiral, this is crazy," came Tony Hughes' voice over the radio. "They'll cut us to pieces." "Maybe," Ryan replied. "But if we don't try, they'll call for reinforcements, and we'll face 3 times as many ships tomorrow." "Lisa, how long until the other alien fleets arrive?" "For hours." Lisa's voice came from Luna Base Alpha. "The Nexar fleet will be here first." "Then we have 4 hours to clean up this mess," Ryan said. "All ships, attack formation, Charlie. We're going straight." Through them, human fleet accelerated toward the Zephyrian defensive line at maximum speed. The aliens saw them coming and prepared for a conventional space battle, the kind they had fought and won thousands of times before. But humans had learned something during their years of hiding that the aliens had forgotten during their centuries of easy victories. Sometimes the best tactic is the one your enemy least expects. As the human ships charged toward certain destruction, Paul Carter armed his secret weapon, the one he had been saving for exactly this moment. "All ships, fire electromagnetic pulse." "On my mark," Ryan commanded. 3, 2, 1. Mark. Every human ship fired the same weapon at the same time. The combined electromagnetic pulse shut down every electronic system in the Zephyrian fleet. Their shields failed, their weapons went dead, and their engines stopped working. For 30 seconds, the most advanced warships in the Zephyrian fleet floated helplessly in space like expensive rocks. It was all the time the human fleet needed to finish what they had started. The electromagnetic pulse weapon worked perfectly. Every Zephyrian ship in the solar system floated dead in space. Their electronics fried, and their crews trapped inside powerless metal boxes. Captain Ryan Burke's fleet moved through them methodically, destroying each vessel with precise weapons fire. "Solar system clear of hostile forces," Ben Watson reported from his stealth ship. All 17 Zephyrian vessels destroyed, but the victory celebration lasted only minutes. Dr. Lisa Harper's voice cut through the cheers with urgent news. "Admiral Morrison, we have a problem. The Nexari fleet just dropped out of hyperspace. 34 ships, and they're not alone."
On
The main screen at Luna Base Alpha, Jake Sullivan watched as more alien ships appeared throughout the solar system. The Nexari had brought their usual force of sleek gray vessels, but they were joined by ships from 6 other alien species. Word of Earth's defiance had spread faster than anyone expected. "It gets worse," Lisa continued, her voice tight with worry. "I'm picking up transmissions from the Korvathi Empire. Their main battle fleet is only 2 hours away. An admiral. They're bringing everything they have. Over 200 ships." Admiral Kate Morrison appeared on screen from her command center on Earth. Her face was calm, but her eyes showed the weight of what they were facing. "How many ships do we have left?" 38 operational vessels, Ryan reported. "For ships. Took damage in the last battle, but they can still fight." Kate was quiet for a moment, doing the math. 38 human ships against over 200 alien vessels, with more arriving every hour. The numbers were impossible. Admiral came. A new voice over the communications system. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Terran Syndicate ship Freedom's Edge. We received your broadcast and came to help." On the screen, Jake could see new ships dropping out of hyperspace near Mars. But these were not alien vessels coming to destroy Earth. They were ships from the rebellious species that had been fighting the galactic empires for years. "Captain Rodriguez," Kate said with surprise. "How did you get here so fast?" "We were already on our way to attack the Zephyrian staging area when your message went out," Elena replied. "We brought 47 ships and some friends who wanted to meet the species brave enough to tell the galaxy to go to hell." More ships appeared throughout the solar system. The Terran Syndicate had brought allies from a dozen different species, all of them rebels and outcasts who had been fighting hopeless wars against the galactic empires. Earth's broadcast had given them something they had not had in years: hope. But the alien empires were not going to give up easily. The Nexari fleet moved toward Earth, their ships arranged in the perfect formations that had conquered 100 worlds. Behind them came Korvathi vessels, ancient and deadly, carrying weapons that could crack planets. "All human ships. This is Admiral Morrison." Kate's voice rang out across the fleet. "Today we face the choice that every free species faces eventually. We can kneel and accept slavery, or we can stand and fight for our freedom. I know what humans choose." The battle for Earth's solar system began with the largest space fight in galactic history. Over 300 ships from dozens of different species clashed among the planets and moons that humans called home. Captain Ryan Burke led the human fleet in a charge against the Nexari formation. The aliens expected another guerrilla attack, but Ryan had learned something important from the first battle. Sometimes the best surprise is doing exactly what your enemy expects, but doing it better than they can respond to. Human ships smashed into the Nexari line like a hammer, their weapons firing patterns that no alien tactician had ever seen before. The electromagnetic pulse weapons struck again, but this time the aliens were ready. Their shields held, but the human attack was so fierce and coordinated that 3 Nexari ships exploded anyway. Lieutenant Sarah Kim found herself flying her Fighter Wasp through a massive battle between Terran Syndicate ships and Korvathi vessels. The ancient aliens were losing, their rigid tactics no match for the creative fighting styles of species that had learned to survive against impossible odds. "Sarah, cover me," called Captain Tony Hughes from his ship Meteor. He was making a bombing run on a Korvathi command vessel, but enemy fighters were closing in fast. Sarah spun her ship around and fired at the pursuing aliens, her weapons dancing through space as she protected her friend. The Korvathi fighters exploded one by one, their pilots unable to match human reflexes and intuition. Dr. Lisa Harper worked frantically at her communication station, broadcasting intelligence about alien weaknesses to every rebel ship in the battle. Her 47 years of listening to alien secrets became a weapon more powerful than any missile. "All Syndicate ships," she broadcast. "The Nexari flagship has a weak spot in its rear shield generator. The Korvathi heavy cruisers can't fire their main guns while their engines are at full power." The information turned the tide of several small battles throughout the solar system. Alien ships that should have been invincible found themselves outfought by smaller vessels that knew exactly where to strike. But the real surprise came when Admiral Kate Morrison broadcast on all frequencies again. This time she was not speaking just to aliens. She was speaking to every enslaved species, every oppressed world, and every being in the galaxy who had ever dreamed of freedom. "This is Earth," her message began. "We call on every free spirit in the galaxy. The empires that have ruled you for so long are not as strong as they pretend. They can be beaten. They can be stopped. If we stand together, they will be." The response was immediate and overwhelming. Across the galaxy, rebel groups that had been hiding for decades revealed themselves. Enslaved species on hundreds of worlds began to revolt. Even some alien military units turned against their own governments, inspired by the example of a small blue planet that refused to surrender. In the solar system battle, the tide began to turn. Korvathi ships found there supply lines cut by their own former slaves, Xari vessels received orders to return home to fight rebellions on their core worlds. Even the mighty Zephyrian reinforcements, when they finally arrived, discovered that half their empire was in revolt. Commander Jake Sullivan watched from Luna Base Alpha as the enemy fleets began to retreat. Human ships and their new allies pursued them, but not to destroy them completely. Kate Morrison had given orders to let some alien ships escape, so they could carry word back to their empires about what happened when you attacked Earth. Status report, Kate requested as the last enemy ships jumped to hyperspace. Solar system secure, Ryan reported. We lost 6 ships, but the aliens lost over 100. Admiral, we're getting messages from rebel groups all over the galaxy. They want to join us. Captain Elena Rodriguez's voice came over the communication system. Admiral Morrison, the Terran Syndicate, formally requests to join the Earth Alliance. We propose a new organization based on the principles you broadcast: freedom, cooperation, and the right of all species to determine their own destiny. Over. The following weeks, ships arrived from across the galaxy. Not invasion fleets this time, but delegations from free worlds and rebel groups. They came to the small solar system, where a quiet species had finally spoken up and changed. Everything Dr. Lisa Harper found herself working with linguists and diplomats from 40 different species, helping to create the charter for what they called the Free Worlds Alliance. It was based on simple principles that the galactic empires had forgotten, that every intelligent being had the right to live free. That cooperation was stronger than domination, and that diversity made everyone stronger. Earth was no longer silent. But more importantly, Earth was no longer alone. The galaxy had heard humanity's message. That message had started a revolution that would change everything among the stars. The door to war had been forced open, but what came through was not conquest or destruction. It was the sound of freedom ringing across the galaxy, started by a species that had learned the value of both silence and the courage to speak when it mattered most.